So, you want to get a handle on your business spending, right? Well, you're in the right place. In this little explainer, we're going to walk through how NuMetric can take all that financial confusion and just make it crystal clear. We're talking about giving you full, total control over your cash flow from start to finish. You know that feeling where it seems like money just vanishes into thin air? One minute it's sitting in your account looking good, and the next, poof, it's gone. And all you're left with is this messy pile of receipts and invoices. If trying to figure out where every single dollar went feels like you're a detective on a tough case, then stick around. You're definitely in the right place. Okay, so we are about to pull back the curtain on that whole mysterious process. We're going to walk through a really clear step-by-step workflow right here in NuMetric. And it's going to cover absolutely everything, from the moment you think about buying something all the way to when you make that final payment. So yeah, let's start at the very, very beginning. All right, first things first, let's talk about your vendors. Every single purchase you make, it starts with a person or a company. Before you buy a single thing, you've got to know who you're buying it from. And that's why, honestly, the absolute foundation of your entire purchasing system starts right here with setting up those vendors. So what exactly is a vendor? Well, to put it simply, a vendor is just anyone you buy stuff from. It could be a huge supplier, or it could be a local contractor you hire for a small job. Creating a profile for each one is, and I mean this, a super crucial first step. Why? Because it lets you connect every single purchase to a specific name. Trust me, this makes tracking everything, and especially billing, so much easier down the road. And adding a vendor, it's ridiculously easy. Seriously. You just pop over to the vendors section under purchases, hit that create button, and you're off. Let's say you run a bakery, right? You just follow these steps to add your main flour supplier, type in their info, and boom, click save. It's really that simple. And listen, this is way more than just a fancy digital address book. You can store literally everything in one spot. We're talking contact info, those super important financial details like a tax ID, and you can even add your own private notes. Just think about it for a second. No more digging through emails or old files trying to find an account number. It's all right here, organized and ready for when you need it. Okay, so your vendors are all set up. Nicely done. What's next? Well, now we plan the purchase itself. See, instead of just sitting back and waiting for an invoice to show up out of the blue, you can actually get ahead of the game. You can take control by creating a formal request for exactly what you need. And that, my friends, is where purchase orders come into play. A purchase order, or a PO as you'll hear it called, is going to be your new best friend for avoiding those surprise invoices. You know the ones I'm talking about. Think of a PO as your secret weapon, your proactive defense against going over budget. It lays everything out in black and white, what you want, how much you're planning to pay for it, and any terms you've agreed on. It just makes the whole buying process official before any money actually moves. And actually creating one is a piece of cake. Let's go back to our bakery. You need, say, 50 bags of flour. Easy. You just head over to purchase orders, pick your flour supplier from that vendor list we just made, pop in the dates, and then add a line for flour, quantity 50, at the price you guys agreed on, hit save, and just like that, your official request is out the door. Now, once that PO is made, the story doesn't end there. Oh no. You can shoot it over to your vendor in an email, you can download a PDF for your own files, you can even track if they've opened it yet, which is pretty cool. But the real magic trick, the absolute game changer, it's that you can instantly flip this PO into a bill. And we're going to get to exactly how you do that next. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. The flour for your bakery has arrived, and with it comes the invoice. You know, that official piece of paper that says, hey, you owe us money. This is the point where we shift gears from just planning the purchase to actually recording it as a liability and keeping track of what needs to be paid. So in NuMetric, a bill is the official record of that purchase. But it's so much more than just a digital copy of a piece of paper. It's a really critical tool. It helps you track exactly what you owe, it helps you manage your inventory, and it gives you a live, up-to-the-minute picture of your cash flow. At its core, it's the official record that you owe someone money. Now, sure, you could totally create a bill from scratch, by following these steps on the screen, but why would you? Remember that awesome purchase order we made earlier? You can just open that up and click one button, Convert to Bill. And NuMetric does all the heavy lifting for you. It pulls in the vendor, the items, the amounts, everything. All you have to do is give it a quick once-over, confirm the details, and you are done. So easy. And the features for managing bills here are seriously powerful. For example, you can attach a scan of the original paper invoice so you have a complete digital paper trail. Or, and this is super useful, what if that flour was for a specific big catering order? Well, you can link this cost directly to that project. That way, you can see exactly how profitable that job was. It's all about connecting the dots and building a really detailed, organized financial picture of your business. And what about those expenses that hit your account every single month, like clockwork? Things like a software subscription or a service contract. Well, you can put those on autopilot. You can automate the whole process by setting up recurring bills. Now, just a quick heads up, this is an advanced feature that needs the recurring transactions module, but man, is it a massive time saver for any of those predictable costs. Okay, so you've paid the bill. The final step is to close the loop, and it's super simple. All you do is open up that bill, click Record Payment, and fill in the quick details. How much did you pay? When did you pay it? And which bank account did the money come out of? You fill that in, click Record, and bam! That bill is officially marked as paid. Done and dusted.
But hold on, what about all those little on-the-fly purchases? The ones that don't have a big formal invoice or a purchase order. I'm talking about things like paying for a taxi or running out to grab some pens and paper with petty cash. Well, there's a totally different and way faster workflow for those.
And this is exactly where the expense feature comes into the picture. So in the world of NuMetric, an expense is specifically for those direct, cash-based costs. Think of it as the go-to spot for tracking all those little operational payments that aren't tied to inventory or a formal bill from a vendor. So let's break this down because this is probably one of the most important things to get right. What's the real difference between a bill and an expense? Okay, a bill is for a purchase from a specific vendor, one that you're going to pay later. An expense, though, that's for an immediate, one-time cost that you paid for right then and there, probably with cash. Nailing this distinction is absolutely key to keeping your books clean, accurate, and just plain making sense. And logging an expense couldn't be easier. You just jot down the date and what it was for. Then, you just have to tell the system two quick things. First, what category does this fall under? Something like office supplies. And second, where did the money come from? The petty cash tin, a specific bank account? As long as those amounts balance out, you just hit save. It is the fastest way to keep track of all that cash spending. And there you have it. We've just walked through the entire life cycle of a purchase, from start to finish. Think about it. By starting with your vendor, planning with a PO, recording a bill, and finally logging that payment, you've built this incredibly transparent, totally traceable, and really powerful system. You are now in the driver's seat. You have complete control. So I'll leave you with one last question. Remember that black box of spending we talked about right at the beginning? After seeing all this, what's the very first part of that mystery that you're going to shine a light on using this new workflow?